Rob Goldstone, the gadfly music publicist who set up and attended the 2016 Trump Tower meeting between a Kremlin-linked lawyer and top officials of the Trump campaign, thinks he may have a clue about one of the biggest mysteries of the Russiagate scandal, the origin of the still uncorroborated claim that Donald Trump watched prostitutes urinate on his bed in a Moscow hotel room. Goldstone said in a new interview that it makes sense to me. The story might have its origins in an episode recounted in the book Russian Roulette by this reporter and David Korn, a party at a raunchy Las Vegas nightclub called The Act in June 2013. Trump, Goldstone and his client, the Russian pop singer Emin Agalarev, the son of a prominent Russian businessman close to President Putin, were among those at the club on the evening of June 15, 2013. In an interview on the Yahoo News podcast Skullduggery, Goldstone described the act as super sexy burlesque meets Cirque du Soleil with all sorts of weird and wonderful things. Among those weird things, as first reported in Russian Roulette, were regular skits involving simulated urination, colloquially called golden showers. One, called Hot for Teacher, featured scantily clad dancers posing as college students simulating urinating on their professor. Goldstone, the author of a new memoir titled Pop Stars, Pageants. But he said both he and Agalarev had in fact seen the urination act at a sister club to the act in London called The Box, and possibly on another occasion at another box club in New York. The act and The Box were both owned by nightclub impresario Simon Hammerstein. The act, however, was closed in late 2013 after a Nevada judge found that its performances were lewd and offensive and violated state anti-obscenity laws. 5 months after the Las Vegas trip, Trump visited Moscow for the finals of the Miss Universe contests, which he owned at the time. It was from this trip that arose the uncorroborated report by a former British spy that Trump, while staying at the Ritz-Carlton Hotel, employed a number of prostitutes to perform a golden showers urination show in front of him. The ex-spy, Christopher Steele, hired by a political research firm retained by a law firm working for the Clinton campaign, wrote a series of memos, known as the dossier, that alleged that Russian intelligence had compromising information on Trump that included a tape of the episode. The idea that Trump might have been in the audience for the urination act in Las Vegas has been suggested as a possible inspiration for the event Steele described. Alternatively, Steele's sources might have just heard about the Las Vegas show, or the one seen by Agalarev and Goldstone in London. The claims in Steele's dossier are disputed, and there has been no corroboration of the golden showers story. Goldstone and Agalarev accompanied Trump for much of the time he was in Moscow. Goldstone thinks the second explanation, that the stories got mixed up in the telling, is the likely one. That hypothesis makes more sense to me than what's alleged in the Steele dossier, that it happened at the Ritz-Carlton, he said in his Skullduggery interview. Goldstone gave a number of reasons for discounting Steele's account. He had personally booked Trump's room at the Ritz-Carlton, switching it just 2 days before his arrival from the Intercontinental Hotel. Goldstone had stayed at the Ritz-Carlton himself and was friends with people at the hotel, and never heard anything at the time about Trump cavorting with prostitutes there. Moreover, Goldstone, who was with Trump for much of his brief trip, said the mogul had a tight schedule the entire time he was there. On his one night in Moscow, Trump returned to the Ritz-Carlton after a party at 1:30 a.m. and was up the next morning at 7 for the taping of a music video in which he appeared with Emin Agalarev. Now I do understand that it may not take an enormous amount of time for people to pee on each other in your presence, Goldstone said. However, he's a known germaphobe. If you're a germaphobe, wouldn't you need somebody to come in and change the beds, do something? Where are those people?